Hey, hey everybody. We're live from the floor today. OBS is giving me a headache right now. I'm not 100% sure that this is working. If anyone in chat can tell me if this is working, that would be fantastic. I'm watching on my phone, but it basically is telling me I have no output. It looks like it's working. But if anyone can let me know, that'd be fantastic. Your ends. OBS lies to me a lot, so yeah, we're live from the floor today. We're gonna be doing something a little bit different. And yeah, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be doing some guitar tech work. Sorry, it's a little bit difficult to be in my own frame here. Hold on one second. Move my mic a little bit closer. Oh, now you can see it. Oh no, now the illusion is broken. This is this is gorilla streaming from the floor right now. Anyway, so yeah, what we're gonna be doing today is weird and different. In case that isn't obvious by me sitting on the floor, and what we're gonna be doing is we're just gonna be working on it on a guitar. I really don't know if guitar. I really don't know if folks this sucks. Yeah, we're gonna restart, I think, and we're gonna see if we can get this fixed. Just give me a minute. I think you're probably gonna have to click on the new link that gets created, unfortunately. But yeah, give me just a second here. Okay, I think it's working now. Hey, Fabs. I hope it's working now. Again, let me know if it's working. I don't know what's going on. Basically nothing ever goes as planned on this channel. So, but yeah, I have a terrible connection. Hold on. I don't know what's going on. Oh, this is so frustrating. What's not working? It keeps dropping to 0 kilobytes per second, being transmitted to YouTube, and then the stream freezes. Which means I can't do anything with my. I don't want to move forward with the stream if it's not working. But I don't know. It's probably a Windows process running in the background, as it usually is, taking up CPU and preventing me from doing anything. I hate Windows, guys. I hate it. They kind of need to be destroyed. Your Wi-Fi at work keeps cutting out? Well, I'm not even on Wi-Fi. I'm on a Ethernet. Are you sure it's not my stream that's cutting out? Because it's erratic at best. Hold on. Oh, goodness. Oh, I'm glad I started early. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, maybe I fixed it. I hope I fixed it. It could also be, this could also be an issue with my camera. I'm not using my usual camera. I have a webcam just sitting on the floor with me here. So maybe that's the problem. Hold on, I'll switch to my other camera and I'll see if it resolves. I mean, maybe it won't. It does not seem to be. I apologize to everybody. You can't even see me right now. Maybe you see the top of my head if I sit up real tall. Oh, there I am. But yeah, if I can get this going, the plan today is to work on one of my guitars. That's a big if right now, isn't it? That is a big if. Jeez. Yeah, I apologize again, everyone. Because I definitely want this stream to right now. Um, yeah, I really don't know what to do. Restarting OBS did not work. Changing my encoder settings did not work. I'm not sure what else to do. I haven't had any issues in a while. I didn't have any issues the last stream, so I guess this is making up for it. I guess. This is a bummer. I'm hoping that it just kind of resolves itself here in a minute. But it's already been 10 minutes, so I'm not sure. Yeah, it just keeps randomly dropping out, and I'm not really sure what the deal is. This is it's kind of embarrassing. I'm I'm a professional, guys. He says while he sits on the floor. It's entirely possible I'm gonna have to reschedule this entire stream, and that's gonna rare stream, and that's gonna really irritate me. But I really don't know what to do here. Um, I mean, if anyone... Is it dropping out at all for anyone? Because it was dropping out for me on my phone while I was looking at it. And I don't want to really continue if it's going to be jumpy. On stream or not, I still got to do it. But it keeps disconnecting. It just did it again. I don't know what to do. For the love of God, Windows. I hate you. I hate you, Windows. I hate you. Oh, I hate Windows, guys. This is the worst. I was actually going to stream this from my Mac, but I couldn't. Mac fucking sucks too, and I couldn't get either of my audio interfaces to work with my Mac because my Mac just doesn't want to recognize them, even though one of them is old and one of them is less old, and they're both just USB interfaces. One's a Focusrite, one's a PreSonus. Both of them should work, but I couldn't get it to work. Go figure. I mean, nothing is taking up CPU. Absolutely nothing. It's just OBS running. I even have Spotify open, and Spotify is taking up 0.7% CPU. That's nothing. And OBS is only running around 30%. There's absolutely no reason for it to be dropping out. I have no idea why it is. None at all. Live stream I have here. Yeah, it's just I might have to cancel this whole thing. It reconnects, and then it's at 7,000 kilobytes per second, which is what I have it set to, and then it just dies. The audio is not my problem. The audio should be fine. It is the transmission to YouTube. Switch back over here. Let's disable these cameras, maybe. Take up even less. I mean, there's like nothing I can do here. You're receiving transmissions. It keeps disconnecting, though. That's the problem. That's my problem. It keeps disconnecting and then reconnecting. And if it keeps doing that, then there's gonna just be like chunks of the stream that just disappear, and we can't have that. If it stabilizes, I'll move forward. The problem, even with so Windows sucks. We all know this. I bitch about it in like every stream. But the thing is even if you open up Task Manager and you look at all the Windows processes that are going, there's hidden ones that don't show up there, and Windows, they're serious fucking assholes for doing that. I hate them. Every single developer that worked on Windows XP, which I obviously love because I use their graphics, and yeah, I used Windows XP for like 20 years, right? I used it right up to 2020. But every single one of those developers is gone. None of them work for Windows anymore, and all of them hate Windows 10. And everybody jerks off Windows 10, and I don't understand it, because Windows 10 is fucking awful. It is terrible. The amount of bloatware and hidden programs that they have on Windows 10 is just unfathomable. And Windows 11 is apparently even worse. I haven't even tried Windows 11. I'm going to skip Windows 11 entirely because it's so awful. It seems like it's stable right now. I wish I could edit the entire first 20, 30 minutes out of this live stream because of all the issues. It seems like it's stabilizing. It's hovering around 6,000 kilobytes per second, which is still too low. It's enough for YouTube, but it's still lower than I have it set. The only thing I can really think of is to drop my frame rate, and I don't think it's going to let me do that while I'm live, but I'll check. But I don't think it will. I think it's gonna force me to do whatever it is that it wants me to do. But also, if it's stabilizing, then that just tells me that it's not an issue with whatever I have set up here, and it is absolutely an issue with a hidden program in Windows 10 taking up all of my CPU without it actually showing up in my task manager. I despise Windows. I've thought about switching to Linux like 1,000 times, but like I don't want to deal with compatibility issues. Anyway, again, I apologize. I hate dealing with this technical like these technical difficulties, especially when I'm live. Like, it puts me in such a bad mood, and I know I'm not fun to watch when I'm in a bad mood, even though I'm sure everything that I'm ranting about is completely relatable for pretty much anyone that uses a PC. Or a Mac, for that matter. My leg's already going to sleep. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna move forward. Fuck Bill Gates, you goddamn right. Bill Gates is a monster. Absolute monster, even his wife knows it. Ex-wife now. Shit. Don't get me started on Bill Gates. We won't even get to the guitar work today. Anyway. Okay. So whatever hidden program Windows was running in the background seems to have ceased. So we have a nice stable connection finally. I hate Windows. But we're going to move forward now. So, okay, what we're here to do today is we're here to replace a guitar bridge. Now, I have had... I'm sorry for this framing. I'm very professional. So basically, I don't have a workspace to do all my guitar work. And I do a lot of guitar work because I have a lot of guitars. And so I just sit on the floor. I just move my desk chair away, and I just sit on the floor, and I've got all my tools spread out. You can't really see them, but they're right in front of me. They're sitting right in front of me. I keep tools, and you've seen this in my my streams. Oh, whoops! Sitting on top of my fridge. This is just an old cash drawer from work that they were gonna throw out, and I said, "Oh, that'll be great for organizing my tools." And just smaller guitar parts like I've got. So we got this Bob Ross Happy Little Tree Mint. I keep all my most used Allen keys in. We got polish in here. I got, little baggies of bridge pins, and I keep my screws and foam. You can never have too much foam. Knobs and stuff, stuff that we use in this trade of guitar tech stuff. And we're going to be using some of that today. So, without further ado, what a manly man. And also, hopefully my audio is okay. I'm kind of far away from my microphone. I want it out of frame. I'm using a condenser microphone today. I hope the audio is okay. You can kind of hear my fan in the background. I have the gate turned up pretty heavily. Apologies for that too, but we're doing what we can. I did, however, make a quick playlist to have on in the background of all of my own instrumental songs, so that you're not just hearing me. I mean, technically you're just hearing me because I made the songs too. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn that on now because I think we've got a stable enough connection for it to handle that. That thing would be better in a DeWalt. Yeah, well, I don't have room for that. I dream of having a proper workshop. Believe me, if I could actually sit down at like an actual workbench instead of on the floor where my legs eventually go numb. Oh, that's a dream right there, brother. Okay, so. Okay. All right. I might turn it down a little. Okay, let me know if the music's too loud, too quiet, if you want to hear it more, if you want to hear less, because I can't monitor it with my microphone. I only hear Spotify. But anyway, I'm gonna grab my guitar and we're gonna check out what we are working on today. Give me just a second. Ugh. Ugh. All right, so this is what we got going on. More and less music. What is that? What does that mean? Okay, so this is what we got going on today. This is what we're working on. This is my classic. What is it? Classic Series 70s Stratocaster. It's from 2009. As you can see, I've already replaced the pickups. I don't know if I'm gonna keep these pickups in it or not. I haven't decided yet. They're lace sensor hot golds. They're okay. They're good pickups. I just don't know if they're for me. If they're for my kind of sound. I usually use red, silver, blues, or blue, silver, and then hot gold. That's what I have in my black Strat. But that costs money. It costs money I don't really have right now. So, anyway. Again, if you are still here half an hour later, hey. I hope this is worth it. So, here's what we're going to do today. We're going to replace this bridge. And I'm going to show you why. First things first, we're going to take this strap off because when we have the strap on and we're working on a guitar, it gets in the way, gets tangled. It's a good way to get annoyed. We're going to take the strap off. This is, by the way, Soldier guitar straps. They're handmade in Chicago, and I believe they have a factory in Michigan now out of recycled seat belts, a vintage fabric, and salvaged leather. And they're a fantastic company. Not sponsored, but if they wanna, I do have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8 of their straps, and they're expensive. So if they wanna send me one, you know. Anyway, so what we're doing today, we're replacing this bridge, and I'm gonna try and hold it up to the camera. All right, you see on my whammy bar, right here. See that black tape? That's not actually tape. That's heat shrink tubing, and that's basically so that the Fender Stratocasters are great designs, right? I'm a huge Fender Strat guy. This is one of the things that I think obviously can be improved, and of course a lot of people have improved them, but this is a reissue, kind of. It's a reissue of a model that was made over the course of like a decade. It's not a specific year. Anyway, I digress. So this is the classic style Fender vintage tremolo, right? And these arms screw in, and the thing is you can't screw them down all the way. If you screw them down all the way, you're putting undue strain on the threads. You can strip it out, or you can snap the bar off in the bridge, and I've done that, and it's not fun. So I put different bridges in all my Stratocasters, and my Cyclone. My Cyclone has this bridge as well. Now Fender has 2 different a Walk Hard reference. Oh, you do like that movie. Sorry, I'm having to look up at my chat. So if I miss anything, sorry. But where was I? Oh, Fender has 2 different measurements they use. The standard. This is made in Mexico. All my Fenders currently are made in Mexico Fenders, because frankly, I know what to look for in a good guitar, and I don't need to spend the extra amount on a American-made one. No one really does. If you know how to do your own guitar tech work, which I strongly encourage, if you're a guitar player, please learn to do your own tech work. You're going to save money. You're going to save headaches. Well, maybe some headaches. You're going to get some new headaches, too. So, yeah. They use 2 different measurements. Let me think. What are the measurements? I think it's 50. And the reason they use different measurements, the standard Mexican ones have more narrow bridges, and the American ones and vintage style ones, which is, I play all vintage style ones, have the American spacing, which is slightly wider. I'm trying to think. It says it on this box, which we'll get to in just a second. Anyway, so I'm really going on a tangent here. Basically, you gotta add something. A lot of people use plumber's tape to sort of get rid of the slop because you can't tighten it down all the way. That's where I was getting at. So what we do here is, well, I'll just show you. So, because first things first, before we do anything with the guitar, we need to open up the box with the new bridge in it. So this is a Wilkinson. It's not made by Trevor Wilkinson. It's made by Sung Il, and it says made in China, but I thought that these were made in Korea. Anyway, the bridge that we're putting on today is a wvc-sb, which is what I have on my Cyclone, my black Strat, my red Strat. Is that all? I feel like I had one more. Anyway, we're putting it on this guitar as well. I really like this bridge. It's getting kind of hard to find. It arrived damaged. Hopefully it's okay in the box. I haven't opened it yet. So WVC, which is Wilkinson Vintage Chrome Steel Block. I think I got that right. And that's what we're putting on this guitar today. So, without further ado, let's open her up. Make sure that it's the right measurement, because if it's the wrong bridge, if they send me the Mexican one, then that's a problem, and this is gonna be an even more disastrous stream than the first amount I had. Foam. Always save your foam. If you get new pickups, you get a new bridge, you get any new hardware, and it comes with foam, save that stuff. It is invaluable, believe me, trust me. So here's what we got going on in here. So we gotta, let me just take it out here. So, Wilkinson, I don't know if Trevor Wilkinson himself had any input on this design, but it's a fantastic design. So basically, it addresses a lot of issues that we have with the original design. And there's not many issues with the original design. The original design is still a pretty good design. Leo Fender knew what he was doing. But basically, you see these saddles right here, each individual one, there's 6 saddles, one for each string, right? They're held up by these 2 tiny little grub screws that are adjustable so that you can adjust the height of each string. And that's great. It's a great design. It's a great idea. But the thing is they just kind of sit on this metal plate that's underneath, and they can go back, they can move left and right, which you don't really want to do, especially when you're doing big bends and stuff. So you don't want those going back and forth, because if your saddle repositions, then your string repositions, and you're not returning to that 0 point that keeps you in tune. So the solution that this bridge has is it has these tiny little channels. Let's see if I can show you. I don't know if I can. I don't know if it'll work. I have my autofocus off because it always freaks out. But you can kind of see it there. There's a little channel for the grub screw to sit in so that it stays in place. It doesn't move left and right with your string bends. That improves tuning stability. That's a great idea. That's a great quality of life improvement on these bridges. We've also got staggered string holes. So basically, when you're restringing, you'll see this here in a bit when I get to it. But the strings go in here through the back of the guitar. So when you drop it through the top of the guitar, the strings come up through here and then out through the top. The strings these string holes are usually straight in a line on a Fender style bridge. They staggered these so that you have more equal string tension from string to string, because the strings are obviously, they're different gauges, they're different thicknesses when you go from, fat strings to thin strings, and that affects your string pull. It affects the tension of the string itself. So that the idea here of having them staggered is to help even out that tension from string to string. It's another thing that helps with your tuning stability, as well as just how it feels. So this is supposed to be a steel block. I highly doubt it's steel. I think they're lying. I don't know if anyone's watching, by the way. But hopefully this is helpful. I'm so frustrated that the first half hour of this stream was technical issues, because it probably drove away so many people that I was hoping to probably like really capture with this information. But we truck on. At least it's stable now, right? Another huge deal about this bridge, and the primary reason that I really like this bridge and why I have it on all my guitars, you'll see this is the end of the whammy bar. There's no threading on it. So this whammy bar does not screw in, it pops in. It just pops in right there, and that's it. It's done, you're donezo. But, how do you keep it in? If you can see right, let's see. I don't know, it's not gonna focus. Maybe if I get it in the light here. Maybe you can kind of see it right there, right up here in this corner, right here. There's a tiny little grub screw. You tighten that down, and there's this Delrin ring on the inside of where the whammy bar inserts. And you just tighten that screw, and it compresses that Delrin ring, and it holds your whammy bar in place, reducing all that slop that you have to fix on other ones, on the stock Fender bridge. So I really like that. Ooh, we're still opening up the package. Sorry. So we got. They were kind enough to give us some extra grub screws for the saddles. That's fantastic. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. By the way, I ordered this from Music Lily. Again, not sponsored. I have no sponsors as of right now. But if they want to sponsor, then fantastic. That's a good. You can never have too many screws. I have probably thousands of screws here in this cash drawer. Again, if you're new, you haven't seen it yet, I've got this old cash register drawer that I sort my parts and tools in. And then here we've got the claw. We're not going to need the claw. We're going to stick with the original. Because there's not really a reason to change it. They include it here in case you're building a guitar and you need the claw. We don't need the claw, so we're not going to do that. That would also require soldering. I don't want to solder today. You want to solder today? I don't want to solder today. So, and then we've also got our springs. We've got more screws. And we've got a user guide. Again, Music Lily sent it. We don't need that. I know what I'm doing. That's it. That's what we got in the box. So first things first, let's make sure this bridge is the same size. So I'm just gonna eyeball it. It should be the same. Yeah. Yep. We're good to go. So we're gonna move forward with this installation. And we've got some other things that I want to address while I'm working on this guitar. This nut really sucks as well, but there's not really anything I can do about that. I don't have a spare nut. I don't have a way to cut it and fill it in. But it does kind of suck. Fret ends are quite sharp. We're gonna address those down, make them smoother. I think that's all. I think that's what we're gonna do. So first things first. Before we take off the strings or anything like that, what we're going to want to do is we're going to make sure that this truss rod is good so that we can, our preliminary setup with the new bridge is going to go a little bit smoother. We don't have to worry about dealing with the truss rod. So the truss rod, this is 70s Strat, so we've got a bullet truss rod up here, which is, everyone shits on it. Because it's the CBS invention, but it's a huge improvement. Don't let anyone tell you the bullet truss rod is not a huge improvement. Another huge improvement they have is the micro tilt, which they have on all their guitars still to this day as a micro tilt. This is a 3-bolt neck because it's in the 70 Strat. I prefer 4. I feel like 4 does definitely give the guitar a little bit more resonance. You can really feel the guitar's notes through the neck a little bit better, I feel like, with 4 bolts, but I don't know. This stream is going terribly, isn't it? That's okay. I need to do this anyway. I need to work on this anyway. I wasn't sure if anyone would actually be interested in any of this, but I figured I might as well stream it, right? Might as well. So, truss rod, I've been having to adjust on all my guitars a lot because these drastic weather changes. It's in the 50s. It's January. A couple days ago, it was like 20. You don't have to adjust truss rods usually very often, but like as climate change happens and there's 13 seasons in 1 month, you kind of have to address it. Anyway, so I think the truss rod's okay right now. Basically, you know, the way you figure out if you need a truss rod adjustment usually, well, by feel. But some people measure. I don't measure. I just kind of go by feel. Where the neck meets the body, fret down there, fret down here to eliminate the factor of the nut. And if you have just enough string vibration that you can actually get a note plucked out, which I can, then your truss rod is, you got enough relief. There you go. That's how you know. Pretty simple. So if our truss rod's good, our bridge is proper, it's got the proper measurements, then we can just move forward. So what we're gonna do first is remove the whammy bar, just to make things a little bit easier here. And it's probably gonna get a little gunky here. Yeah, a little bit. This is another reason that I like pop-in arms. All right, you see how gunky and torn up that heat shrink gets? Yeah, we don't like that because it's hard to remove. It's a mess. It sucks. Plumber's tape's not really any better. It's even messier. It's easier to remove, but it's even messier. A lot of people swear by plumber's tape doing this. I just don't want to fuck with it at all. So got that removed. Next order of business is gonna take the back plate off. Simple Phillips heads. So we're just gonna take this off. My leg is so asleep right now, sitting on the floor. A lot of people just leave these back plates off. I like to have it on, just to keep things from, like when I'm playing, I've had my belt kind of hit the springs in the back and you can hear that through the pickups, and we don't want that. So I keep the back plates on, but I only use 4 screws because we don't need 6 screws to keep a back plate on. Back plate's off. I use 2 springs usually. We'll see how this bridge, if this bridge needs 2 or 3. We'll probably use the springs that came with it. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll use these 2 springs because these 2 springs are already up to tension, and yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay, so that's off. Next order of business, getting these old strings off. These are actually pretty old strings. They're in decent shape, but they're pretty old. So we're just gonna use our little string winder here. Put that bad boy right on there. Unwind each string. These tuners, by the way, these tuners they're not Fender's best. Fender really needs to up their tuner game. Of course, it's totally historically accurate to have kind of crappy tuners on a 70s Strat. But at least they're slotted through the top, which is very important. So yeah, we're just unwinding here. I don't think anyone's watching. That's fine. If anyone's watching in the future, I apologize. I was thinking if this stream does okay, or if people like this stream, or even if a few people like this stream. It doesn't have to be the most popular one I have or anything, but like even if a few people like it, maybe anytime I do any kind of guitar tech work, I'll stream it. But I don't know. I'm no Ted Woodford. By the way, if you're into this kind of stuff, Ted Woodford. If you don't watch Ted Woodford, go watch Ted Woodford. You'll love it. All right, strings are nice and floppy. Some people just cut them right off. I don't like to do that. I like to be a little bit more gentle with my guitars. So, all right. Excuse me. Take our wire cutters here. Snip them. My wire cutters are getting kind of old and they're rusty, and they don't like to cut all the way sometimes. I really don't want to. There we go. Oh, I have a garbage just off camera. I might need these bent ends here. Let me. There we go. All right. You're watching Mwah? All right. Well, hey. Mwah. All right. We'll push these through the saddles here, the top of the saddles. Grab the ball ends from behind. Sounds like my wedding night. Am I right, gamers? Ball ends of the strings from behind. Sorry, I just hit the mic. Pull them all out. All right. And you got all your old strings here. Wrap them in a circle. And go like you're about to tie them in a knot. Just pull them tight. There you go. Old strings off the guitar. Toss them. Gone. All right. So before we get to the bridge, we want to get these frets taken care of because they are sharp from all of this weather. All this weather we've been having. So basically, if you know anything about weather, yeah, wood. You're nobody. It said no one was watching, Faust. I'm sorry. It said 0 people viewing. I'm sorry. You're not a nobody. I love you. I hope I can see you soon. I really do. All right. Anyway, so what was I? Yeah. Okay. Wood is much more susceptible to temperature and humidity. It shrinks and expands with temperature and humidity much more than metal does. So when in the winter, the wood can shrink down and the fret ends don't. So then they start sticking out the sides and you got to take a file and smooth them down. And the thing is you kind of want to do this on all your guitars anyway. So that's why I always advocate guitarists learn how to do some of your own tech work. You don't have to learn how to build a guitar or anything, but learning how to do things like getting your fret ends smooth, and obviously start small. Start with learning how to restring, doing basic setups, then move on to things like frets, then maybe move on to electronics. Learning to solder is invaluable. I put it off forever, and now I can do all my own soldering. No more $60 an hour sessions with a guitar tech that you have to pay. You can learn how to do it yourself, and you can do your guitarist friends favors for them as well. I'm sorry, there's 2 voices of me talking right now because I got my voice and the song in the background, and I'm talking. You can all hear the music, right? Sorry, I'm talking too much. Anyway, so we're going to be using this file here. It's a very small file. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just a diamond file. I mean, you can get a set of these at Walmart for pretty cheap. I want to say these were like $6 or something. They do the job. We want to use this one that's kind of, you can tell I use it a lot by the wood dust on it, but you don't really want to get wood dust. If you're doing this on someone else's guitar, you want to tape this fretboard off. And only have these frets and the fret ends exposed so that you're not going into the wood. This is my guitar. I don't really give a shit, so we're just gonna go for it. But yeah, I'm using the fret, the file with the this kind of the smoothest grit. I don't know what you call it. Like the smoothest grit, because you don't want to go too far and round too far over the fret ends, because then you're going to be pulling strings off the fretboard, and nobody wants to do that. This one also has a nice smooth edge to it, so we can kind of round over the edges a little bit better. So we're just gonna start. We're just gonna go at this is a bit of an exercise in endurance and patience. So basically, here I'll start on the 12th fret here, so you can kind of see what I'm doing. But yeah, you're just gonna very gently. You want to kind of start at like a 90-degree angle, small movements, and slowly move it back. Slowly. Till about maybe not quite 45 degrees from the fretboard, and then go right back until you don't feel. You'll feel it. You'll feel the grind of metal on metal. Once that ceases, stop filing, and you just kind of want to go a little bit at a time until it's smooth. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to turn the file this way, and you're going to take it. And you're just gonna round over the edges. Do it a couple times on both sides, and kind of turn it that way as you go, like a Olympic diver. And there you go. That's a fret. That's done. Do that all on all of these, both sides. 21 times 2. You got to do 41 times. Although you can't really do it up here on these last few frets on the bass side because the guitar's in the way, but that's okay because your thumb's not going to be feeling those anyway. I like to do those if the neck is off. I'm not taking this neck off. We're going to leave it on. So yeah, the 21st fret's kind of hard to get. I try and get the more difficult ones out of the way first, just for my own sanity. There we go. And yeah, you can definitely damage the finish if you're not very, very careful. I've done this 1,000 times. I do this on all my guitars. And again, if you're doing this on someone else's guitar, make sure you tape off the board and the side of the neck so that you don't fuck up their finish, because no one's going to want to ask you to work on their guitar ever again and fuck it up. It's like a mechanic, right? Like if you take your car to a mechanic and the mechanic does a terrible job, if you take it there for an oil change and they tell you you need a new alternator and you say, I know I need a new alternator, why did you replace my alternator? I was planning on spending $30 and here I am spending $400. It's kind of the same deal. And then they do it wrong. Yeah, don't do that. Excuse me. Still have a cold. I've had a cold since Christmas. I'm starting to think it's pneumonia. Maybe. I don't know if I'm joking or not. Yeah, this takes a minute, and I know that this isn't what you guys are here for. I know false advertising with my stream and all. This is probably going to be kind of a long stream. Probably going to be longer than my usual ones. Despite the fact that I'm on the floor, and so are you, because my camera's on the floor. This guitar also has vintage style frets, which are smaller than modern ones. So this actually takes much less filing, this guitar does, than on some others. Like a modern guitar with jumbo frets or tall frets or whatever, this is going to take a little bit more filing if you're going to smooth the edges out. I've already done this once on this guitar, but it wasn't enough, I guess. Making progress. The more you do this, the quicker you get at it, too. I've done this probably, I don't even know how many times, probably at least 30 times, maybe more. Excuse me. When you're doing this, you want to hold the file in a way that you can control it the best as well, so that it doesn't... It's very easy to slip if you're inexperienced doing it. This is definitely one of them things that it can be daunting when you're a beginner and you're just learning how to work on basic things like this. It can really be daunting because you can feel like, well, if I messed it up, you know, you don't want to have to get a refret done. But like, it's very difficult to do something to a guitar that is irreversible. Obviously, if you mess the wood up, it's irreversible, but Fenders are made to be fixed. That was the whole idea of the Stratocaster. Everything is replaceable. Think about this. The best, the coolest. It's one I've never replaced an alternator. I'm not sure how much it costs. I pulled that number out of my ass. But the thing about this, the coolest guitars and the most valuable guitars, especially Fender Stratocasters or Stratocaster style guitars, none of them are mint condition like stock guitars. None of them. Clapton's Blackie, David Gilmour's Black Strat, Kurt Cobain's Strats. You know, I mean, even John Frusciante's 62 Strat is not stock. It still had, like, it has non-original pickups. All right, one side down. Let's flip her over and get to the other side. I have a feeling this is going to be a much less popular stream than my others. It's okay. This one's for the nerds. Ted Woodford has videos. I couldn't point you to one specific video, but Ted Woodford has videos on how to do this as well. So if you're a nerd like me, you'll love Ted Woodford. He's a proper luthier and he's a woodworker. He's not just a luthier. He actually is a proper, like, hand-built kind of guy. And I like a Glock, maybe. Maybe. I always compare guitars, working on guitars, to like working on cars. You know, people like cars that they can modify. That's why, like, why do so many street racers love Honda Civics? Well, you can buy a Honda Civic and drive it to work every day, or you can buy a Honda Civic, put a turbo in it, and make it a street racer. You know what I mean? I feel like that about Stratocasters. You can really do a lot with a Stratocaster. I mean, Eddie Van Halen built a Stratocaster, and he didn't exactly play the same kind of music that Buddy Holly played, and they didn't play the same kind of music that Eric Clapton plays. And they don't. None of them play the same kind of music that, you know, Jeff Beck plays. Or so many guitarists are able to kind of make a Fender Stratocaster their own. I feel like Corgan. I mean, me even. Like, I know what I like in a Stratocaster. I know what I want in a Stratocaster. For example, my Black Strat is kind of my main Strat. And it's the one that I probably change things on and experiment with the most. Yeah, you can change so many things on a Strat. If you don't like it, if you don't like the tuners, get different tuners. If you don't like the neck, get a different neck. If you don't like the pickups, put in different pickups. You can wire it pretty much a billion ways. All right. All done. Frets are much smoother now. That should be all we need to do with the fretboard other than clean it, but we're going to get to that point when we put new strings on. So now, bridge time. So, bridge is held on with these 6 screws right here. We're just going to take them out. we'll probably, actually, real quick, I want to clean off all this crud where I usually can't, where the strings are, because I always forget to. Here we go. I'll probably stick with the stock screws as well. It came with screws, it came with springs. But yeah, we're probably gonna stick with the stock fender screws because that's what the holes are threaded for. There's a lot of ways you can mess something like this up. And honestly, again, nothing is permanently, like nothing is foobar on a Stratocaster usually. I mean, you really got to try to mess a Stratocaster up to make it irreparable. I mean, think of Rory Gallagher and his Stratocaster. It was stolen. It was thrown into the back of I believe it was a pickup truck. It might have been like a box truck. I think it was a pickup truck. And apparently while they were fleeing or something along those lines, it flew out of the back of the pickup truck, landed in a ditch on the side of the road where it stayed for like a week. I don't remember where it was at, but it had rained and it had been subjected to the weather, and he was back to playing it like a week later. These things are pretty indestructible. I mean, you got to think, like, a guitar neck is basically a reinforced baseball bat. A Fender one is, anyway. I mean, it's hard rock maple, usually. And they're cut straight, right? They're not like Gibson's where it has the tilted back headstock. So there's minimal points of extreme breakable wood in a Stratocaster neck. This is a really good body on this one too, in case you couldn't tell by the attractive wood grain on it. Oh shit, I actually forgot. Sorry. You gotta remove the springs. I should have removed the springs first. Alright, that's fine. Alright, and she's gonna fall right off the front. So there we have it. There's our old bridge, and now we're bridgeless. And boy, this thing weighs absolutely nothing without a bridge in it. This is a very lightweight piece of, well, it's a 3-piece body, I believe, of light ash. It's a very nice wood on this guitar. And these are kind of famous for being boat anchors and weight. This one, I weighed it, I think it was only like 7.4 pounds. It's very light. Excuse me. All right. So there goes our old bridge. What do I do with it? There it is. Okay. Here's our new bridge. So we're going to basically reverse engineer what we just did. There's wax buildup in these holes that helps keeps things threaded. So yeah, we're going to just do what we just did, but in reverse. We stick that bridge in there. I'm going to take those screws we just took out. Now, this is where things get... Actually, before I do that, I believe this had... Yes. This bag had springs in it, the claw screws, and it has this tiny little Allen key that should fit this grub screw right here. And you want to be careful when you're handling this stuff and you got a guitar in your lap. You don't want to drop it, ding up your finish. So that little grub screw, we're going to tighten it up. I'm going to tighten it all the way because I'm a psycho. Basically, we're going to tighten this Delrin ring that's inside. We're going to tighten it, whoops, so that it holds on to the whammy bar better. Make sure that we can still get the whammy bar in and it's not too tight. Yeah, loosen it a bit. There we go. Yeah, that's good and tight. Once it's in there, we'll give it another tighten to, sorry, I'm not talking into my mic. We'll give it another tighten here once the whammy bar is in there. Make sure that it is, in fact, nice and tight. Yeah. We might have to bend the whammy bar a bit. I usually have to bend them upwards a bit, bend it out, because I float my trems up quite a bit, and the bar kind of leans this way, so I bend it up more. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay, so we got that. Now we're gonna reinstall it. So this is where this is a step-by-step process. So basically, we're gonna do the 2 outside screws first, and I'll show you why. So, start on the treble side. Doesn't really matter. Treble, bass, doesn't matter. First, you're gonna put the screw in the hole, right? So, in the hole, and then you're gonna turn it counterclockwise until you feel it fall into the threads. Hopefully. I'm not feeling it. These holes were pretty gunked up with wax to prevent. There we go. I felt it. Okay. Once you feel it kind of fall into that hole, stop turning it, and then start turning it clockwise. And what that's going to do is it's going to help keep your threads from stripping out in the wood. That's a very small thing that a lot of people don't know. That's a quick way to strip out any hole that's drilled in wood. So we're going to screw it all the way, pretty much. Now let's see if I can get this angle right. So we're going to screw it, and then when you see the bridge, lift up, right? So there's a knife edge on the bridge. I'll use the old bridge as an example here. There's a knife edge right here where it sits on the body, and when you screw it down all the way, it lifts up just a hair. So you want to do that all the way to where it lifts up, and then you want to back it off until it sits back down flat, just to that point. And that's going to give you enough room for the bridge to travel up and down without the bridge being too loose or without it putting undue pressure on the screw holes. And yeah, we're going to do it with the 2 outside screws first. Now we're only doing this step where you screw it down all the way and then back it off just enough where it sits flat. We're only doing it with the 2 outside screws. The 4 inner screws are just kind of there for a little bit of reinforcement. The guitar's string tension doesn't really pivot on those. It's the 2 outside ones that it does. All right, and lifts up and back down. And there we go. So our bridge will be able to travel a lot more. Sometimes I loosen it even further, which I think I'm gonna do. You want to do about a 1/4 turn. Like that's like the magic number for any adjustment you do on a guitar. 1/4 turn. There we go. So our bridge will be able to travel that far up and down, which is good. Whoops, I just hit the headstock. Because I set up my bridge to float quite a lot. I'm like Jeff Beck with my whammies. Now the 4 inner screws, you don't have to tighten them down nearly as much. You kind of want them pretty loose, actually. You want them out of the way of the strings, obviously, but they don't need to go as far down as the outside screws. You can do that if you want, but it's generally not super recommended to do that. There are points of friction that you're adding to the bridge that could potentially cause tuning instability because it will make the bridge have a more difficult time. It's something that the bridge will rub against and not return to a 0 point. So you want them kind of high. You don't want them like super high. I'll show you in a second. Hold on. You definitely want them. You want them in there, but not super in there. Maybe you can see Maybe. Maybe I should have. You can kind of see. You can kind of see it, right? So, yeah. I got 2 more to go here. And we're doing the same thing with all these screws. We're putting it in the hole, and we're turning it counterclockwise until it drops in a little bit. You'll feel it. And then you can go clockwise. And you're not pushing down when you do that either. And that's just honestly something you don't have to be working on a guitar to use that little tip. Anything where, if it's furniture, anything. If you have a screw in wood, and you always do it that way because it will prevent stripping out. Because when you strip something out, you gotta fill the hole and then re-drill it. And this just kind of helps. I mean, wood holes almost always strip out eventually. All right, let me give a visual check here. That looks good. All right, we're about halfway done with the bridge installation. Then we have to set it up. Okay, so we got our springs here. Like I said, we're gonna use the same springs as before because I already have them. I already have the claw set. So basically, when you're so this claw right here in the back here, you can kind of see it. So this is a grounding cable that you solder to it so that all the electronics are grounded to metal, so that when you touch things like the strings or the tuners, you're not becoming the ground, which causes electronic interference, and you'll hear it through the pickups. So in order to mitigate that, you ground the metal. Make sense? So these 2 screws right here that hold onto the claw, they basically, you can screw them and unscrew them, and it obviously moves the claw this way or back. I have them back almost all the way that they can go, so that I can get away with only using 2 springs. And the reason I do that is because I like a really light feeling whammy. It looks a little weird. And the way I get away with doing that is I use the triangular. I can't really see what I do that way. Basically, I set the springs to be in a triangular fashion like this. Let's see, like that. Which adds a little bit more spring tension because it's pulling on the springs a little bit more. So you see these holes in the back. You see, maybe you can tell there's little tiny holes in between each of the holes that the strings go into. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. I should have already known that. I shouldn't have had to count that out loud. That was embarrassing. And basically, we're gonna expand it. There's different hooks on the claw, right? It's kind of hard to get. I use pliers or something that can grab onto the hook end of this spring, and I stretch it to the 2 outside. And that happens a lot. Definitely just marked up the back of the guitar. It's okay, it's mine. Stretch it to the 2 outside holes so that it's traveling the furthest. There's 1. See how it's going in at an angle? That angle is gonna keep it tighter, right? So we're gonna, oh, of course I did it on the wrong one. Hold on. Too much of an angle. Sorry, I've never done this and talked to people at the same time. This is kind of weird. I don't know if anyone's still here. I hope so. I've only got a few views. Come on, get in there. There we go. And you might mark up the back of the bridge block by doing this, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, there. See, it's still at an angle. It's just not as extreme. All right, so we do that twice. on each side. The second one's always easier to put in because that's what she said. Because it's only taking a little bit of the load off of the first spring. That's what she said. There we go. Springs are installed. Bridge is sitting flat right now, but that's going to change as soon as we get string tension on this bad boy. So, what's the next order of business? What I like to do is I kind of like the ballpark, the bridge height. Now you can kind of see here, the strings go across each one of these saddles. There's a little bit of a radius to it, and you can see it actually gets a little bit taller, also overall. So we kind of want to copy that. You can do like proper real measurements if you want. I don't usually. This Allen wrench should be the same size. So we're gonna adjust each one of these grub screws. So I know that, and we're just ballparking it. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's gonna get further adjustment when strings are on. We're also probably gonna replace some of these grub screws with shorter ones so that we don't mar up our hands. Yeah, we might just go ahead and do that right now, actually. Yeah. So they were nice enough to give us extra screws, extra grub screws, and extra short grub screws. So the lower your saddles are, the higher your grub screws will be, right? Or the more of them that are exposed, really. So if you use really, really short ones, I don't know if you can see that. Use really, really short ones, that's less grub screw that will be exposed, and it won't rub against your hand when you're playing. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do that here. This is gonna take some time. That's okay. That's what we're here for. Usually I am saying this all to myself. I'm usually talking to myself. All right. This is... And this does kind of suck. This is a... Like, you really gotta... Like, these are very small parts that I'm working with right here. These tiny little grub screws. And it can be kind of a pain in the ass. Come on. Get in the hole. That's what she said. Music. It's like tedious music. By the way, all this music is my original music. Just so you guys know. Alright. There's one. Alright. Yeah, this is gonna take a hot minute to do. Bridge stuff is kind of a pain. It can be. Because there's a lot of small parts that you have to consider when you're doing this. Let's see, find another super small one here. There we go. A lot of really small parts. And a lot of steps that you gotta take. And, you know, it's an exercise in patience, that's for sure. But if you do it right, the outcome should be good, and it will be worth it in the long run. Come on. Get in the hole. Oh, yeah. I shouldn't be a surgeon. That's all I can say about this. Yeah, these are very, very small parts. I'm not so good at seeing up close. There you go. Again, what we're doing right now is we're replacing the grub screws on the saddles with shorter ones so we don't mark up our hand. Ugh. Legs asleep. Sorry, I didn't wear any fun socks today. And yeah, if you're watching this from the floor. Floor gang. Ooh, doggy. Yeah, that's a long blade. Alright. Just go ahead and get both of these out at once. Might be able to grab this. Hold on. So I should have like set up a second camera facing this way, shouldn't I? Maybe in the future. If I never do this again. Sorry, I know this is tedious. I know this is really tedious and probably boring. I figure maybe there's some people would just want to hang out while I do this, though. Maybe. But if not, that's fine too. I was kind of hoping that maybe this would be a good guide in the future for anyone who's just getting into this kind of stuff, because it can be daunting work. I remember being a beginner and really just starting, you know, like when you realize, you know, like how expensive guitar stuff is, and then you want to learn how to do stuff yourself. It can be really daunting, and it really doesn't have to be. You kind of just jump in. As long as you pay attention to the things that you're undoing, you should realistically be able to redo them, and you can kind of figure out how this stuff works. You know, reverse engineer it all. Take pictures if you gotta. God dang it. Sorry. Little grub screw tried to get away from me. I am replacing the bridge, yes sir. We are about halfway done. So basically, once I get this grub screw in, I'll let you know. We'll do a recap. And I'll tell you what we're actually in the process of. Right now, I'm replacing the grub screws in the saddles of the new bridge. And we're doing that basically so that we quit apologizing. But I am sorry. I'm sorry I'm apologizing so much. But we're putting shorter grub screws in so that we don't tear our hands up on the saddle screws. It's something that a lot of people do. Okay, so basically, this is our old bridge. It's the stock Fender. It's like I think these are the same ones they put on the older American vintage models, but I could be wrong about that. But I'm pretty sure it is. I don't love them. I mean, they've been made the same way since like 1954, basically. They're not bad. I just don't love them. The primary reason I don't love them is because of this. This is the primary reason. Those threads, man, I hate those threads. Those threads suck. So we get every one of my Strats gets this, as well as my Cyclone. We get these Wilkinson bridges, or they're Wilkinson in name, that they're made by Sung-il in Korea, and they're just vintage style Strat bridges, right? But they have elongated holes, which I didn't mention this before. They have elongated holes for the strings to come through so you can get more accurate intonation. They have little channels underneath where the grub screws sit so the saddles don't move left and right. They stay in a track, which is better for tuning stability. And they have pop-in trem arms with a little Delrin ring on the inside where the arm goes, and a tiny little grub screw in the back of the bridge where you can tighten that so you can get a nice tight fit for your... Yeah. It's just a better design. It's not that the original design is bad, but this one is just, it kind of improves upon a couple things that were could be improved upon, frankly. And a lot of people certainly have their opinions on Leo Fender's original design. You hear a lot that Leo, got it right the first time, and he got a lot right the first time, I think, but there's certainly things that have been improvements, like the truss rod access from the headstock is an improvement. The micro tilt is an improvement. I think that this bridge is an improvement. I think the 2-point trem is maybe an improvement. I jury's out for me on the 2-point trem. Let's see here. This 5-way switch was an improvement. The original Stratocaster only had 3. But yeah, we're replacing the bridge. And we've already got it installed. If you want to watch back and see how we got the rest of it installed, by all means. I wasn't sure if this video would be interesting for anyone. I thought maybe. Right now we're replacing the grub screws that came installed on the bridge, the new bridge that we got, which is called the wvc-sb, the Wilkinson Vintage Chrome Steel Block. It is what goes on my Geats. But they provide different grub screws, shorter ones, so if you want to use shorter screws so you don't tear your hands up like I do, you can just put different ones in. It is time consuming, but it's worth it. It's also better to do this while strings are not on the guitar. You will be putting extra force on your grub screws and your Allen key if you do this with string tension up, and you are at risk of stripping things out when you do that. When you strip something out, it's a lot harder to fix, and you might as well replace it if it's stripped out. Unless it's the wood, of course. If you strip out your guitar wood, don't just replace it. Fill and re-drill, baby. The toothpick trick works as well. I know a lot of people talk crap about the toothpick trick, which is when you dip a toothpick in some wood glue, stick it in the hole, break it off, make sure it's level with the rest of the guitar, and then screw your screw in. Dang it. And a lot of people say that's not a good long-term solution. It depends on the screw. If it's for the neck, like where the screws go, hold the neck to the body, yeah, definitely fill and re-drill those properly with dowels. But I definitely think that if it's like a pit guard screw or something like that, but by all means, use the toothpick trick. But yeah, I was thinking, I gotta do this anyway. I might as well stream it, hang out, So why are you on the floor? If you're wondering that, because I do this on the floor. My leg's asleep right now. And my back's killing me. We'll probably take a break here soon, and then we'll finish it up in like the second half. Hey, how's it going? But yeah, we're on the floor. I don't have a workspace to do proper stuff from. I just do it on the floor. So the camera's on the floor. I've got a condenser mic right here to talk into. And, you know. I figured, you know, if Markiplier can stream and do videos from a bathtub with the camera pointed at the bathroom mirror to get his reflection, I think it'd be all right. I just stick a webcam on the floor. What bridge am I putting in? Give me 1 second. I'll show you the box because we have a couple people here who weren't here yet when I first got it. It's a Wilkinson. So I threw the box over here, of course. My leg. Oh, my leg. So this is what we got here. I put this in all my Strats and Strat style guitars, as well as my Fender Cyclone. Anything that has a vintage spacing, which I think is 56 millimeters. I might be wrong about that. 54? Is it 54? I can't remember. But any experience with Goto bridges? A little bit. I'll let you know. But this is what we got. I put this in all my guitars. It's a Wilkinson. It's a licensed name, but it's made by Sung-il in Korea. It says made in China, but I always thought these were made in Korea. I don't know. Maybe it changed. But it's the wvc-sb bridge, and that is a Wilkinson vintage chrome steel block. And it just has some quality of life improvements, which I've been over. We'll go over through this again. So it has elongated string holes on the saddles, so you can get better intonation without the string getting caught up on things. It has channels on the bridge plate for the grub screws to sit in, so that they don't move left and right as much, which is good for tuning stability. It has, yes, I'm using 2 springs. It has staggered string holes here. Let's see if I can get it in the light a little bit better here. Which evens out the string tension from string to string, since, you know, obviously strings are all different gauges, which just feels better, resonates better. As well as a pop-in trem arm, which is non-threaded, but it has a Delrin ring on the inside of the trem hole here, which you can tighten. You can clamp down on it with a little grub screw that's on the back of the bridge, which I do before I install the bridge because it's easier to get to. You can lift the bridge up and get to it if you really need to, but it's just easier to do when the bridge is off. And that's why we have this bridge on all my guitars, because I'm sick of... I hate doing this. I hate wrapping the end of a trem arm to try and get rid of the slop, and yeah. I've also stripped out like 1 million of these bridges. Made in USA, it doesn't matter. I've stripped out 1 million of them. I haven't had any issues with this Wilkinson, and I've been using them for a little while now. They're just good. But Goto, yes, I have had Goto bridge blocks. I haven't had full bridges, but I believe their bridge blocks fit the stock Fender bridge plate. And they're okay, they're all right. I didn't love them. They were kind of heavy, which some people like, some people don't. It was okay. I think it was an upgrade for sure. But overall, I do prefer the Wilkinson, so that's what I have on everything. Upgrading a $200 Strat is good. Oh yeah, absolutely. First and only guitar, current have. Want to buy a Les Paul 1960 with those necks at summer. Yeah, I've played. I don't own a Les Paul. I've never owned a Les Paul, but I have played quite a few. I remember playing the. Where did I leave it? I remember I had a buddy that owned a 19. What was it? was a Les Paul Classic, and those necks were the 1960 style necks. It was a kind of a fat D shape, fat D, but it's a decent guitar. I wouldn't mind owning a Les Paul someday. I like the 58 fat baseball back necks a lot. So someday I'd like to get one of those, a gold top with P90s. Oh, would be amazing, like a 56 style. But yeah, upgrading a $200 Strat, absolutely. Now, one thing to keep in mind, however, is when you're upgrading if it's a Mexican or if it's a Squire. This is Mexican. This is a 70s reissue. All my Strats are Mexican currently, but they all have American spec. My black Strat is a Tex-Mex Strat, which were super secret. If you know, you know. But the necks and bodies were carved in America after a fire took out the Fender Mexico warehouse. So they subsidized Fender production in Mexico with bodies and necks that were carved in America. And so the Tex-Mex Strat was only made for a year. All of the Tex-Mex Strats have American specs because of that. Again, and a lot of people will argue with me about that. Don't listen to anyone who says that they're an expert on Strats or, oh, I've worked on Strats for 20 years. I've never heard of such a thing. I've owned multiple of them. It's a real thing. And then my red Strat is a Jimmy Vaughn signature, which obviously is also American spec. This is a 70s reissue classic series Strat, so it got the American spec. My Cyclone, despite the fact that Cyclones are really unique guitars on their own, they do in fact get they were part of the deluxe series, so they got American bridges and stuff. So having said all that, yes, it is absolutely worthwhile to upgrade Strats, but you also have to be aware of the fact that Mexican Strats and Squires do have different measurements, and there's only so much that you can upgrade them because of that. I personally feel like that's got to be like some planned, tier system that Fender has had in place. Obviously, it's always fun to get new guitars too. So, I have one. Well, it's not a standard. It's an FSR. It's a Sam Ash special, 48th Street Strat, which has the standard. It's basically a fat Strat with right now it's not anything because it doesn't have the electronics installed, but it's basically a fat Strat with Alnico pickups. So the older Mexican Strats had ceramic pickups, so anything that had Alnico back in the 90s and 2000s was considered an upgrade, even though that's considered standard today. Like I said, I shouldn't be a surgeon. Don't get emotional, Faust, if you're still here and you're hearing this song. But yeah, absolutely. Upgrading them's cool. I even I have a Classic 5 that was my first Strat, and it was excellent. It's in it's in shambles right now, but it is still a very good body. Very, very nice piece of alder, because it was a first run back when they were still solid alder. Great guitar. Jet. I've never heard of Jet as a brand. Nowhere as good as the others, but $250. Yeah, $250, 200 euros. That sounds about right. Guitars. It's strange because a few years ago, I don't know, not even pre-COVID, like I would say probably before 2022, guitars it was never easier to get a really good guitar that was affordable, right? Like you had the classic vibe Squires. I cannot get this god dang grub screw in. And then, so around 2022, 2023, the guitar market started kind of collapsing a bit because it couldn't keep up with the boom that happened during COVID. And everyone who got a guitar started reselling them, and they kind of ruined the used market a bit. I'm gonna lose my mind if I can't get this grip screw in. I'm gonna try a different one. Get out of there. And now you just can't get good stuff anymore unless you're really lucky and really watching out. I got really lucky with this 70 Strat last year. It's the most expensive guitar I currently own, even though it's a Mexican. My leg is asleep. Oh goodness. Alnico. So Alnico. One second, my leg is really asleep here. Ooh. I'm gonna probably, once I get these grub screws changed, I think I'm gonna take a quick break, but I will be back probably after a drink and a pee and get some blood flow to my legs. So Alnico is it is a type of magnet. It's a sort of a man-made magnet. It stands for aluminum, nickel, and cobalt, and it's abbreviated to Alnico. And it is a type of magnet that they use in pickups. So pickups are magnetic. That's how they are microphonic, but only to metal vibration, right? So now they use different types of magnets. I can't get this thing in. What is going on? But they use different types of magnets in pickups, and different types of magnets have kind of like different properties to them. And a lot of cheaper guitars use ceramic. Some people really like ceramic. I'm not really a fan myself. Ceramic is typically considered hotter sounding and a little harsher sounding, treblier. Some people love that, and that's fine. It's just not for me. Alnico is typically considered a little bit smoother. There's different grades of Alnico, so Alnico 5 is probably what most people are thinking of when they're thinking of guitar pickups. They're probably thinking of Alnico 5 pickups more than anything else. Earlier models of Stratocasters used weaker Alnico pickups, weaker Alnico magnets, like Alnico 2 and Alnico 3. So like that, like those 50s, early 50s Strats, like a 54 Strat, you're gonna get more of an authentic like 54 tone if you're getting like Alnico 3 pickups. By the end of the 50s, probably around 56, 57, they had really just kind of beefed up the pickup magnets. And so that's really when you get into the Alnico 5s, and then they stayed Alnico 5s. Basically, in the American Fenders, pretty much for good. These lace sensors I have in here, I believe they have Alnico 5 magnets, but they're very different magnets. These pickups are made very differently than your standard single coil pickup where there's a copper wire around a bobbin. Do I work with the guitars for a job? I don't, actually. This is just a big old hobby. I've done, some guitar work for friends and stuff, but yeah, I've never gotten paid for it. I'm not really good enough. It's just I always advocate for guitarists to learn how to do some of their own tech work if they can save a buck. Start light, learn how to restring, then learn how to change out things like hardware, and then learn how to do bigger and bigger things. As the great David Bowie once said, go right up to the edge of your comfort zone and then take one step further. And I think that applies to not just art, but anything that you're learning. If you can just... trying to find the right size here, sorry. And of course I drop it down into my crotchal region. Oh my god. Okay, I'm just gonna grab a new one. But yeah, go up to right where you're more comfortable with. Take another step, and then learn how to reverse engineer guitars, and you'll figure out how they work and how to fix things pretty quickly. And just remember that it's very hard to make something permanently like foobar effed up beyond all recognition on a guitar, especially a Fender. Because everything can be replaced on a Fender for the most part. I mean, look at David Gilmour's Strat. You know, it was... that is the Strat of Theseus, if ever there was one. You know, for years it was speculated whether or not that guitar was the same one that he... Like, his famous black Strat, right? Like, it wasn't confirmed until, like, 2006 or something. Like 2005, 2006, that his black Strat that he played at Live Aid was the same one, or sorry, Live 8, not Aid, was the same one that he used in Pompeii, you know, and it was just speculated. It was, no one knew for sure. And turns out that it was, however, to what extent? Because everything had been changed on it, except for the body. So... All right. Finally. All right, we got these done finally. That took, like I said, that was going to be an exercise in patience for sure. Join a local band as a rhythm guitarist. Really small band, just a few friends. I miss being in a band. I really do. Being in a band is a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of work. It's not as much work as being a solo artist, I will say that, because when you're a solo artist, you do everything. When you're in a band, you can divide the work up amongst everyone. Whether it's production, whether it's hauling gear, whether it's transportation, doesn't matter. But at the same time, it is like being married to multiple people, and you will have arguments, you will have disagreements. It doesn't matter how close of friends you are. I've had friendships end over previous bands. It does suck sometimes. When a band breaks up, it is like a divorce. But okay, I said I was going to take a break after I got these grub screws done. So I am going to do that because my legs are asleep and in pain. So we're going to take just a quick break. I'm going to get a fresh Diet Coke and get some blood flow to my legs, and we'll be right back. I'm glad that the stream is stabilizing. So yeah, but yeah, absolutely. The best way to get good at guitar and playing with other musicians is just by playing. Like there's no shortcuts. You kind of just have to dive in, and once you dive in, and you start learning, you start getting better. But yeah, okay. So we'll be back in just a few. You've been playing for like a year and a half. Never performed on stage. Find an open mic. Write some simple songs. Try them out. Find an open mic and a loud bar where very few people will pay attention to you. That is how I started. And now here I am streaming to billions of people. Slight exaggeration. But yeah, once you're comfortable playing at an open mic, bigger audiences that are actually paying attention to you get easy for some reason. It's way more comforting to play to people who are actually there because they want to hear you versus people who couldn't care less. It seems counterintuitive, but it's true. Not only that, but stage lights blind you. You will not see the audience. You won't even know they're there if you're playing to bigger audiences. So, okay. We'll be right back. Probably like 5-10 minutes. So if you need to pee, grab a drink, do what you got to do. Now's your time. And then we'll come back and we'll finish this guy up. And yeah. All right. See you in a few. We're back. All right, let's get more done, shall we? I needed that. I needed some blood flow. Sitting on the floor kind of sucks. All right, so next thing we need to do, well, I'm gonna clean the fretboard before we string her up. I'm just gonna use a this is just a shop towel, regular old blue shop towel. You know, you can buy a roll of these for super cheap. And since this is a maple fretboard, we don't have to use any conditioner or anything. Usually, if we're working on a guitar with a rosewood fretboard, we'd use some of this stuff right here to condition the fretboard and clean it. But I'm just gonna use good old-fashioned elbow grease. Just give the frets a good once over in the fretboard, and nobody likes a gunky fretboard, you know. How hard is it to change the nut? The nut kind of sucks to change. I changed the nut on my Jazzmaster before I did that last stream, and it kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. It's not the worst thing in the world, but you have to make sure that the nut is gonna fit. You have to make sure that it's slotted properly. You have to make sure the string spacing is correct. You have to make sure that the nut width is correct, because different guitars have different nut widths that they require. And replacing a nut is probably something, if you really, really need to replace a nut, take it to a tech. And a tech might even make you one out of a bone blank, which is going to be probably superior to one that you buy pre-made anyway. So yeah, I wouldn't change the nut as a beginner. I don't like changing nuts. I've only changed the nut a couple times myself, and it's kind of a pain. The nut on my Jazzmaster was really glued in too. It took a lot of work to get the nut out, the old one. And yeah, it just kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. But replacing the nut should be like an hour job for a guitar tech that actually knows what they're doing. So usually guitar techs charge, the standard going fee for a guitar tech is usually about $60 an hour, plus materials, assuming they're able to either make a nut quickly, or if they're able to modify a pre-made one to fit your guitar correctly. Should only be about an hour job, so it should only cost about $60, which I know is a lot of money if you're a beginner. In the grand scheme, that's pretty cheap though. But it does kind of suck to change yourself. I would rather replace a bridge than a nut, if I'm being honest. I've done bridge work several times. It can be a lot of work. That's why I wanted to stream this, is because I knew it was going to be at least a couple hour job. All right, you can kind of see a little bit brown there, taking the crap off the frets and stuff. Makes bending a lot smoother if your frets are shiny. It's not just an aesthetic thing, it's definitely a playability thing. Yeah, definitely go to a tech for that. If you're European, I'm not sure what kind of like retail chains are over there anymore. I know, ooh, I got fuzz on me. I know that a lot of shops have been closing in the UK. I'm not sure if you're in the UK or if you're in a different country, but I know a lot of shops have been closing, unfortunately. A lot of American ones have too. Guitar Center, of course, famously is, they went bankrupt, but they are still open. They're probably not going to close down anytime soon, but go to one that's reputable. A local shop is always going to be more reputable. Not always, but usually. I'm lucky enough I live about an hour from a guy that's really, really good. But he is kind of hard to get into. Okay. We're going to go on to stringing. After we get their things strung up, we have to... Hold on. I got a string tree that's loose. 70 strats have... Well, the reissues. It depends on if you have a specific year, but the big headstocks usually have 2 string trees. Oh, a different screwdriver. Smaller one. Now, maybe not. Alright, I give up. I think it's just gonna be loose. Alright, what we're gonna be stringing her up with today is my usual. I used to be an Ernie Ball regular slinky guy. I have switched over to GHS guitar boomers. 10 to 46 is what I use. I was using the Gilmore set, but they stopped selling the Gilmore set in the big 12 packs, and I like to buy the big 12 packs because sometimes they go on sale and you can scoop up a year's supply of strings for super cheap. It's like 30 bucks sometimes on Musician's Friend if you're lucky. Normally these go for like $60, which I know sounds like a lot, but I own like 20 guitars. Not all of them are electric though. My main ones, I have like 8 main ones. Alright, so yeah, we're just gonna go one by one here. Stringing up is like the first thing that you should learn guitar tech wise when you're a newer guitarist. So just in case anyone doesn't know how to, you just feed the string through these holes back here according to which string you need to do. And they come up through the top, pull them all the way through. And then you want to make sure that the string is actually in, because I've had 1,000 quick string jobs where the string kind of pokes out like that. Oh, whoops. Where it kind of pokes out, the ball end isn't quite seated, and it gets... You want to make sure that that's all the way through. Nobody likes when it suddenly lets go and then your string gets really floppy. This guitar, well, all my main guitars have vintage style, Kluson style slotted tuners. This one has the F-stamp tuner, you can kind of see, and still has the slotted tops. When you're going to string up a guitar with slotted top tuners, you're going to want to pull the string kind of tight up to about 2 to 2.5 tuners in advance to where you're going to, where the tuner that it needs to go to is. And then you're gonna just snip it right there. And then you got your extra, throw it away. That way, you stick the top of the string down into the hole where the slot is, all the way down. Then you can pull it off to the side. You want to tighten it by your hand. String winder. This one's kind of a bougie one, but like even a cheap like $2 crappy one is gonna save you. It's gonna save you some carpal tunnel syndrome. Tighten her up. And the reason that we're stringing up, even though we've got a lot more setting up to do, is so we know what strings need adjusted and how much. Doesn't have to be up to tune immediately. Let me go on to the A string. Doing bridge work can be a bit of a lot of work because there's so many steps involved. But as long as you follow the steps, it's not too bad. It's kind of intuitive. And the thing is everything is reversible. If you miss a step, you can always go back. Like intonation. Like we gotta intonate this still. We gotta set the saddle height. We gotta make sure that the strings are stretched out. We gotta make sure that the actual action of the vibrato when I'm actuating it actually returns to a 0 point. You know, one thing at a time. Just so how's the weather where everyone's at? It's January here. Well, I mean it's January everywhere. But it's January, but it's like 50 degrees outside here right now. Which makes being doing guitar work really difficult when you're when the weather's jumping around between 20 and 50 degrees every other day. This song that's playing in the background right now, I'm pretty sure you guys can hear the music, right? This is maybe my favorite song that I've done. Maybe. Called Temple of Jupiter. Alright, 3 down, 3 to go. Moving on the G. Ugh. So the reason I switched over to guitar, GHS boomers from Ernie Ball, I kept breaking Ernie Balls. And that's not normal for me. I'm not really a big string breaker. But I kept breaking the E's. It's like their E's are defective or something. Kind of a bummer. But I haven't had that issue with these. I really like them. They're good enough for David Gilmour. They're good enough for me. I would say they're a tiny bit stiffer than Ernie Balls, but that's why I really like. That's why I really do like the Gilmour set. Is the Gilmour set is a little bendier. They have a lighter G and B strings than standard sets for those big Gilmour bends. But it is what it is. This guitar actually needs a new nut itself. I don't really like the nut on it. It's kind of shitty. It's a little plunky feeling. You know, plunky? It's plunky feeling. Someday. One thing at a time. I'm stoked just to have a new bridge on it. I really like these bridges. They're if you've seen me streaming much or you've seen my videos where I really get quite heavy-handed with my vibratos, with my whammy bar. And these things just take it like a champ. Marco's not here. Alright, last string. Yeah, string winders will save you so much time if you guys string winder. Definitely recommend. Oh, one thing I didn't point out. When you're doing the E and the B strings, and obviously you can't go up 2 tuners, right? To figure out where to cut, just go up to where it is, and then come back to the E, and then go up to the D. And that's where you need to go. That's where you need the snipper. On these bigger headstocks, also, you might want to leave a little bit more room on the E string. I didn't, and hopefully I don't pay the price for it. Alright, she's all strung up now. So next thing that we're going to do is we're going to get up to tune, which is going to take some time. This is going to be maybe the least fun part of all of this, if I'm being honest. So I've got my tuner over here off screen here. It's not getting any signal. That's not good. I wonder why. I don't know. Huh. Let's see if it's an issue with my pedals or my guitar. Pedals. Okay, great. Well, that'll be an issue to sort out later. So as you get this up to pitch, with the new bridge, well, it hasn't happened yet. But right now, you can see the bridge is still laying flat. The more string tension you put on it, the more it's going to start to pull that bridge forward. And that's when it'll start floating. I didn't change the spring setup. I went right back to the same spring setup I had before. So it should... the vibrato should be set up the same way, even though it's a new bridge. Alright. I'm gonna give it some help, though. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna have to bend this whammy bar. Might have to loosen them. I'm not sure why. Actually, you know what? I bet I know why. I think the set of strings I had on before were the Gilmore set. So there is going to be a slight change. So we might have to, yeah. All right, so what we're gonna do to rectify going down in string gauge here is we're just gonna give these screws in the back here that are holding the claw in a couple of turns. Maybe not even a couple turns. We'll start with like that much. Tune it up again. It's floating a tiny bit. Yeah, these saddles are gonna have to come quite a bit. So right now my strings are hitting my pickups. Setting string height and intonating is a massive pain. I hate doing it, but something you gotta do. All right, I'm gonna unscrew them a couple more times. A little goes a long way, by the way. You don't really want to go too much, too quickly. Do it in steps, and it'll help a lot, because you don't want to have to undo work if you don't have to. There we go. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. New strings take time to stretch out as well. We're going to speed up that process here when we actually get up to tune. Alright, I think I'm gonna do it one more time. It's very easy to get caught in the mindset of just doing a lot at once, right? Like, why do a little at a time when you can just go ham on it? And the answer is because a little can go a long ways, and sometimes it's easy to overshoot. It's looking a lot better. This is my least favorite part about having a floating Strat trem, is tuning. And it's not even like tuning stability because the Strat trem is floating and you're using it. It's when you put new strings on, all the tension has to sort of equalize to basically be at a 0 point. Okay, so now it's kind of, you can see the bridge is floating a bit now. You can see the back is lifted up. That lets us give it a good wiggle up and down. And you want to be able to make sure that you can really go low and you can really go high if you're going to do it this way. Not everyone likes to set up their bridges this way. That's just how I like it. The Jeff Beck way. I am going to have to do something about this whammy bar. I'll probably do it off camera though, because I have to utilize a doorway. I know that doesn't make sense, but so basically I'll use this for demonstration purposes. So as you can see, there's not a lot of travel downward I get with this whammy bar before it bottoms out. I like it to sit up higher, so in order to remedy that, you bend it right about there by sticking this in a door frame and just bending it. There's I'm not getting my security deposit back on this apartment. There are marks in my doorway from doing it. Some people use a vise, and that's probably the better way to do it, but I don't have one of those. I don't have a workshop. That's why we're on the floor. But yeah, strings stretch out over when they're new. They're, I mean, strings are under a lot of tension to get up to pitch like this. So once you get it up to pitch, you're just going to want to you want to pull, right? You want to kind of fret each one. You want to fret each fret on each string and give it a little tug. Not too hard, but enough, right? And you're going to do this over and over and over and over. And what this is going to do is it's going to stretch out the string at various points of contact on the guitar. And it's going to help it acclimate to its tension now that it is, you know, on the guitar. And once it's kind of used to being at that tension and it's not going to stretch out anymore, it'll hold tune better. I've seen people like shit on this method of stretching out strings, saying that like, oh, you're depriving yourself of playing the guitar and using the strings, you know. What up, brother? Marco's here. We've already got the new bridge installed. Right now we're in the process of restringing and setting it up, so but hey, what's up? How's it going? The stretching, I've seen people like really shit on this method, saying you break strings this way. Don't listen to them. I'm tired of guitar experts not knowing what they're talking about. I think Reddit is the worst place on earth if you're a guitar player. I really do. I get in so many pointless, needless arguments on Reddit. So yeah, after you go through every fret on each string, stretching it a little bit, they're all going to be flat. So you got to tune back up, and you got to keep running through each one until it's all in tune again. And then you repeat the process. It kind of sucks. This is not my favorite part of being a guitar player, I can tell you that much. Rewatch the installation. It's long. It's been a long time. We've already been going 2 hours and 20 minutes. Although about half an hour of that was troubleshooting issues with Windows. So you might need to fast forward. But yeah, it's been pretty chill. We've been a pretty chill stream. I don't think a lot of people have been interested, but I think that's okay, because frankly, I was gonna do this anyway, right? Like, I needed to install the bridge, so I might as well stream, might as well hang out with anyone who's willing to hang out with me while I do it. Yeah, you don't want to pull on the E string and the B string too hard. The unwound strings, really. You can really feel how much... I mean, you don't want to break them. I have broken strings doing that. And we're flat again. And this takes a while. This is another exercise in patience. The unwound strings will stretch out probably faster than the wound strings will, because the winding as well as the core on wound strings has to stretch out. But we're getting there. My next stream, by the way, is probably going to be Friday. I'm expecting it to be Friday. Maybe we'll play this guitar on that stream. I like this guitar. This is my quote-unquote nice guitar. All my guitars are pretty nice. But this one is kind of my nice guitar. But yeah, so far we've done, we did some, fret filing on the edges, smooth them down because they were getting sharp. We've cleaned her up, taken the old bridge apart, put the new bridge in. We replaced the grub screws on the new saddles with shorter ones so that we don't mar our hands up while we're playing. It's a long process, it's a long installation, but it's fairly straightforward if you just kind of follow the steps. Alright, we're getting there. We're almost there. So we're getting to a point where it's starting to hold tune. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to start bending. Because, frankly, if it can't hold tune when you bend, then it's not going to hold tune. So yeah, we just start bending. Give it a good Gilmore bend. Oh man, my legs are going to sleep again. And the action's very low right now. We're gonna have to raise these saddles up probably a good amount. At least a few of them. Excuse me. Alright. But yeah, once they're all stretched out good, and they're holding tune, then, which it is now, so we're gonna unplug her. Actually, no, we're gonna keep it plugged in. Don't unplug her yet. Oh, yeah, and I have to figure out which pedal of mine died. Ugh. I'll do that off stream. I've been having power issues with my pedals, I don't know why. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the saddle height. And the way we're going to do that, well, the way I like to do it is by, I like to give it a good bend, and if it's not a clean bend, then I raise the saddle a little bit. Detune the string, obviously not all the way, but enough to where there's not really tension on the saddle. And like most other adjustments on a guitar, we're gonna do like a quarter turn at a time. We're just gonna raise these grub screws up. Except this saddle, I don't think has much room left. Sure doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have any. I think we're gonna have to put the old grub screws back in. That's fine. It's not the end of the world. on, get in there. The exercise and patience has taken its toll. There we go. Yeah, that's way better. We're probably gonna have to do that with the other E as well. If this one had to have it done. Not a big deal, but this is a great example of doing doing a bit of work that you have to go and undo. Probably could have. I went with the shortest possible grub screws, and I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have gotten the second shortest. I make mistakes too, guys. That's okay. Again, this is another great example of how it's hard to mess something up permanently on a Stratocaster. Okay, so we got a bit more height on there now, so we're gonna tune it back up, and we're gonna give her a bend. It's nice and clean now. It's a little bit too high now, so we're gonna go ahead and lower it again. Of course, not as much. Tune her up again. Probably go a little bit lower. And this is something that kind of just sucks to do. It takes time. It's repetitive. It's tedious. And you got to do it 6 times. Well, you got to do each string, however many times it takes. Basically, what I want to do is I want to get the saddle height as low as I can with no buzzes and no choking out on a bend. That's the goal. There's a very fine line. You just gotta find the sweet spot. I know there's measurements and stuff you can follow, but every guitar is different. Alright, now we're a little too low. So again, we're gonna do quarter turn adjustments here. I say that's pretty good. All right, and the last step that you want to do while you're adjusting height, saddle height. Oh, my leg's asleep. Oh. The last thing you want to do is you want to make sure that both of these grub screws are just snugged up. You don't want them to be. You don't want to adjust the height any further. You want them to be snugged up just enough to where you feel that they're not going to move. Because when you pluck the string, it can vibrate those grub screws, and nobody likes phantom rattles when they're playing guitars. That's the last step, I would say, of doing it this way. Okay, next up we got the A string. I'd say that needs raised up. So we're gonna do it all over again. I shouldn't need to, I don't think I need to change these grub screws again, though, like I did on the E. I hope I don't break a string. I really hate breaking new strings. A little bit more. We're getting down to the wire on this, though. If I absolutely have to replace the grub screws again, I will do it. Because what else am I going to do? Not do it? I'd say that's probably good. Maybe a little bit more. A little bit more height. I don't know. I don't know if I got any room. I'd say that's good.
No, I've already got plans.
You don't have to worry too much about the radius, because if you do one string at a time and get basically as low as you can get without the without any string buzz, you should be able to get it pretty low, and it'll just kind of naturally form its own radius by doing so. But I need to take note that in the future, if I need to raise a saddle up, I'm probably going to have to replace those grub screws. Alright, next up we got the D. Hear that string buzz. So, I tell you what, excuse me, I think it's kind of crazy hearing my own music play in the background here, right? I never listen to myself. I never listen to my own music. I make it, and that's it. So I haven't heard a lot of these songs in a long time. I'd say that's pretty good. Maybe a little lower. Another thing to consider when doing this is when you bend the string that's below it, are you going to be able to push it out of the way, or are you going to have a bad time and have it slip under your fingers? So you want enough height that your finger can grab or push it out of the way. But obviously you don't want it to be so high that it sucks to play. You don't want that. I'd say that's good. Yeah, okay. G's up next. Aw, G's. Usually the G and the D are about the same height. Usually. Sometimes the G is a tiny bit higher, just because the G is unwound and the D is wound. We'll see here. That looks awfully high. I probably made that too high. Hold on. snugged up here. Okay. Like I said, this is like the tedious part. I still have to intonate it too. I'm gonna try and go a hair lower if I can get away with it. Quarter turns, everyone. Quarter turns. Yeah, I'd say that's good. Yeah, I'd say that's good. B's up next. And the B is quite low. Now the radius of the unwound strings is usually going to be a lot more dramatic looking than the wound strings, just because they change. Like there's vastly big differences in the composition of the string itself. Boy, my leg's asleep. Okay, we gotta go up higher. Oh. I don't know if you can hear that buzz. That's no bueno. We don't want that. You get that and you want to go a little bit higher. I'm gonna get ballsy. I'm gonna do a whole half turn. The reason you want to detune the string every time you do this, by the way, is because it puts undue pressure on both the string and the grub screws. So you're in danger of breaking a string and you're in danger of stripping out your grub screws. You don't want either of those things. I'd say that was about perfect, huh? Yeah. We're gonna leave it right there. Alright, next up is our last one. And this one is the one that I might have to replace grub screws on again, because I'm a doofus. We'll see. Ooh. You hear how I bend and it kind of chokes out a bit? I want to make sure, I want to get rid of that, but just get rid of it. You bought some Allen keys a while ago? I don't think any of them fit. I can't remember whether it's metric or... Allen keys are cheap. This Allen key came with the bridge, luckily. So... Okay, I think if I need to get any more height out of this, we're gonna have to do another grub screw replacement. So, fingers crossed. But yeah, if your Allen keys don't fit your guitar, they probably fit another, so if, you know. Man, that sucks. Alright, yeah, we're gonna have to replace these grub screws. Bummer. But, better do it now than later. F. The reason you want to do this, you want to do your saddle height before you do your, man, I don't know. Do I need to replace these? I don't know. Oh, no, hold on. The reason you want to do the string height before you do intonation is because your string height affects your intonation. So when you intonate, you want everything kind of set up as you want it. Does that make sense? Change the bridge on yours. Yeah. This is one of those bridges. However, it's getting really hard to find. I can link you to it after the stream. I had to go on Amazon. Felt bad. I don't like supporting Amazon. But yeah, I think they might have stopped making it. I could adjust the micro tilt, get rid of that buzz. But I really don't want to do that. Shoot. Okay. Yeah, we're out of room here. So, different grub screws. I might have changed some of the grub screws a little prematurely earlier. Amazon is the devil, but they do be having anything. Well, if you buy this directly from Music Lily like I did, I mean, it showed up pretty quick, I gotta say. It did. I was not expecting to do this stream today. I didn't think it was gonna show up that quickly. Okay, let's see. Sure. That thing. That. But yeah, I will link you to it. Because there aren't any on Reverb right now. I buy them from sellers on Reverb because I don't want to support Amazon. But there are none. And they're really low on stock on Amazon right now. Which is why I had to go on there. I think they had 11 in stock when I ordered mine. Oh my god. Ugh, get in there. Just like my wedding night. I'm going crazy. This is driving me nuts. Ugh. If I wasn't on stream, I'd be swearing like a sailor right now. But yeah, I like this bridge. And if they are discontinued, which I hope they're not, I hope they, I don't know, I hope they at least have another product that they come out with that is comparable to it, because I like this bridge a lot. I mean, this is the last Strat that I own that doesn't have this bridge, that the bridge fits anyway. So I don't think I'm gonna need any more, but you know. If this thing doesn't go in straight, I'm going to lose my mind. Where the F are the threads? Ah! Sorry, I'm yelling. Oh my god. This is so aggravating. I don't know if how to basically these little grub screws that go in the saddles, they don't want to go in. It's trying to cross thread. It's driving me nuts. It might help if I actually put it in the right hole. Sounds like my wedding night. Might help. It might help if I'm not the problem. Jesus Christ. That's better. Wow. It's almost like I'm an idiot. Sorry, guys. Disregard everything that I have talked about in this stream. I'm stupid. Jesus. Yeah, Amazon. I hate Amazon. God damn it. I hate Amazon to death. Hate it to death. But the problem with Amazon, and in my opinion, is it has so much counterfeit bullshit on it. But and you know, even if you buy directly from like from a manufacturer's like official Amazon page or whatever, that doesn't mean that you're getting, you know, the genuine product, because the genuine product is usually stored in a warehouse full of the counterfeit stuff. Like Carhartt is a major thing. Like, people have got to stop buying Carhartt from Amazon. They're gonna have a bad time. Buying Carhartt from Amazon is a bad idea. Just go to a store. You sell them at Dick's Sporting Goods. They sell Carhartt at pretty much any farm supply store. And as for guitar stuff, I don't know how much counterfeit guitar stuff there is. This wasn't obviously counterfeit. No one's counterfeiting, you know, a Music Lily bridge. But, that doesn't mean that a lot of counterfeit stuff is gone off of there. There's like no regulation on Amazon. I mean, you can buy Galaxy gas on Amazon. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, and a lot of the time you can totally tell when something is counterfeit when it arrives. Like, that's another thing. Like, never buy like microphones. Don't buy microphones from Amazon. Just do not do it. Like, there's so many like, even like Shure microphones, right? Like, you don't buy a Shure microphone from anything other than an authorized dealer, because there's a lot of counterfeits floating around out there. You don't want to and those counterfeits don't sound half as good, you know. Like, if you can get a Shure microphone from, you know, like Amazon for like, you know, $60, you're probably buying a counterfeit. And of course, a lot of people out there, you know, the counterfeit police, and they think that oh, this is a counterfeit because it's missing this sticker, and it's like, no, some of them just don't have that. Damn it. Yeah, buy Sweetwater stuff. Like, definitely Sweetwater's the way to go, especially with the free candy bags. The little... The high E is always the one that I struggle with the most to get the buzz going. Because, well, it's the thinnest string. a lot of people don't mind, like, a little bit of buzz. A lot of people say, like, oh, string buzz. There we go. There we go, much better. But a lot of people don't mind it, or they say that it's like, oh, you just, you know, that's just part of the Strat experience, is having a buzzy guitar. No, it isn't. Don't listen to anyone who says that shit. It is just not true. If you got fret buzz, it's set up wrong. That's all there is to it. Either that or you have a high fret, or any number of things. We might have to actually tighten this bridge back down in the back a little bit. Now that it's acclimating. It's a dance. You gotta, yeah, it's all a big dance. Because now it's floating a little bit too much. Like I said, it's there's a lot of interplay between string and spring tension in a Stratocaster. And part of a good Strat setup is just figuring out what that balance needs to be. Boy, my legs are hurting again. Ugh. Might have to take another break here shortly. Just to get some blood flow going. It won't be as long as the last break, though. It's been a long stream. And we're still not done. That's okay. Like I said, this was how I plan on spending my day anyway. I already got some adult things done. Oh, that sounds dirty when I say it like that. I went to the store, a couple stores and a pharmacy, and got some laundry done.
What is it you want, Barry?
So that's very good. That feels very good.
Hey, that's a pretty good idea.
All right.
I'll give you the moon, Barry.
I'll take it. And what?
And we're gonna do one final little check here to make sure that all of our grub screws, saddle height adjustment grub screws, they're all nice and snug, to avoid any kind of rattles with string vibration. Again, we're not adjusting the height, we're just making sure they're snug. Phantom rattles suck. Yeah, that's good. All right. All right, now that I got that done, now that I got that done, I think I'm going to, we're going to close up our strings here. Again, this is what we strung up with. GHS boomers, 10 to 46. It's the same gauge as Ernie Ball regular Slinkies. They're just made a little bit different, and I think they're a little bit more robust. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna take like just a real short break, because again, my legs are asleep and my hips hurt. Because we're on the floor. You're on the floor right now. You're even lower than I am. But yeah, I need to get a real workbench, real bad. But yeah, quick break, less than 5 minutes. I mean, enough time to pee and grab a drink. So I'll be right back. We're gonna go to the screensaver. You ready, guys? All right. Okay, I'm back. All right, we're back, guys. Okay. Whew. I gotta tell you, man, my ass, it hurts sitting on the floor like this. This is a long job. I guarantee this is not the best way to do all this. I guarantee it. There are better ways. There absolutely are better ways, and that's fine. There's always gonna be better ways. What is this? Okay, throw that away. Okay, I want to get these grub screws cleaned up here. Oh, goodness. Because there's a lot of them on my floor. Organization is a good thing to keep in mind. When you're doing this kind of stuff, you want to make sure that you're organized. You want to make sure that you know where absolutely everything is. Because otherwise, you're going to get frustrated with yourself really fast. So I like to use little baggies. I mean, this came in this little baggie. Keep using it, you know? Okay. This stuff we don't need. We'll probably, yeah, we'll just stick it there. Again, this is an old cash drawer that I stole from work that I use to organize all my stuff. All right. Next order of business with our bridge installation. We got our new bridge on. We got it strung up. We've got our string height set. Now we need to intonate it. Intonation, for those who do not know, is playing up the neck with each fret, right? And it maintaining its tuning, right? If it's improperly intonated or not intonated at all, your notes, say, for example, on the 12th fret, could potentially be sharp or flat compared to the open string note. And that's no bueno, because then you're out of tune. So, Stratocaster, it has it all worked out for you. So, and each string has its own saddle, obviously. So not only can the height be adjusted for the string via each saddle, but the intonation can also be adjusted via these springs in the back that hold the saddles on. Yeah, I'll show you how to do that real quick. So basically, you want to make sure the guitar's in tune, first things first. They say tune it in playing position, where it's fine. Okay, maybe playing position. Now, when you do a big job like this, sometimes it does take a bit of time for everything to kind of acclimate, and for it to really kind of have some decent tuning stability. Otherwise, you're gonna, if you try and play a show right after doing a job like bridge replacement, new strings, new setup, everything, there's a good chance that it's not going to want to cooperate with you. It might, though. All right, so we're in tune, but let's intonate. So the way we do this is kind of, that's a bit of a two-step process. Actually, real quick, I need to lower these pickups because I am touching them with my string. That's good. Before anything else. Okay, that's good. The way you do it is you can do it by ear. I've done it by ear 1,000 times. if you're sharp or flat at the 12th fret compared to your open note, then you have to adjust the intonation of the saddle. So that's our E. That's our E harmonic. This should be perfectly in tune. Now you fret the E. It's actually pretty good. Maybe a little teensy weensy, tiny little bit sharp. And let me think. Sharp, the saddle goes back further. If it's flat, then it needs to go this way further. So again, you have to detune the string, because again, you don't want to strip out anything or break the string. And this does tighten the pitch of the string. And again, quarter turns. Usually I find, however, with the E string, usually you kind of just want it back as far as it'll go. The E and the G, usually you want them as back as far as it'll let you take it. Alright, our open E is in tune. And hold on. And there we go. We're intonated. It's in pitch. It is holding tune. Cool. And we just do that same process for every string. So let's make sure our A is in tune. Fret the A. I like to do this by ear. I like to double check by ear. Alright, so our A is a little teensy weensy little bit sharp. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna bring it back a little bit. It doesn't need to be a lot. Usually you want your first 3 strings to kind of look like equally stepped up, and then the next strings to basically almost look the same way. So that's kind of just like a little preliminary guide to ballparking it. If you buy a bridge from Fender, like new, like it'll kind of look like this, right? The saddles will be kind of, you get 3 up, and then G, and then it goes up. Yeah, that's kind of ballparked for you. And really, it's just a matter of fine-tuning it for your setup. We got some vibration. We might actually need to raise these strings up again a bit. Oh man, I might need to replace these. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. God damn it. Okay. Ugh. Life. Alright. So earlier when I was mentioning undoing work that you had to do, it's saying that it kind of sucks to have to undo work and this is why you do steps and processes. This is what I mean. I was probably a little premature in replacing these grub screws, but that's okay. That one. Because they also mentioned that everything that you do on a Strat, or almost everything you do on a Strat, is completely reversible. So you can't really mess it up permanently unless you really want to. Although, you know, I have seen absolutely foobarred truss rods. You really have to be stupid with your truss rod to really ruin it, though. Typically speaking, your truss rod really has to be, like, you have to be, like, putting force into turning it. Like an undue amount of force into turning it in order to really ruin it. I mean, it obviously things, external factors like dropping the guitar or hitting its neck or something can ruin the truss rod as well. So you still want to, like, be mindful of that kind of stuff. But it's really not the end of the world if you, you know, have it a little too loose or a little too tight. It's what it's there for. It's to be adjusted. The more a guitar acclimates, the more it will probably need fine-tuning. Did I change this? Yeah, I did. When you when you get a guitar set up, they say leave it for a day and then come back to it, and that is something I absolutely agree with. And again, that doesn't always go that way. Sometimes the guitar is just ready to go, and sometimes it ain't. So yeah, if it does need any more adjustments, we'll just probably do it off stream, and it'll probably be like tomorrow or something. Anyway, back to intonating. So I raised these saddles a bit, so we're gonna re-intonate them. So yeah, this needs to come back a little bit again. This is where these elongated string hole slots in the saddles really come in handy. Yeah, because it really has to come pretty far back. Oh, my leg's asleep again. Oh, God. I think that's about as far as it can come. Yep. Okay, the A didn't really need any more adjustment though. On to the D. Just like my wedding night. Our D's just a hair sharp, so we're gonna bring it back. I would say intonation is something that, like, you don't have to do quarter turns like you do with most other adjustments on a guitar. A little bit further. Usually, you'll know something's off if it's visually off. Yeah, we'll go ahead and bring the A back too a little. Wow. A little bit more. So something that's cool about these springs is they're cone-shaped springs, so that when they compress, they kind of fold in them, which is something, again, that is a major improvement over, like, the Fender ones. Boy. She's fighting me. There we go. A little bit more. We're very close. Don't do this, by the way. Always detune the string first. That was a stupid thing for me to do. I think that's pretty good. Alright, halfway through. Oh, foot's asleep. Oh. So I don't have any good, like, I need to, like a cushion. I bet I have a cushion. Hold on one second. I'm gonna get a cushion. Ugh. Yeah, it's cushion time. Oh yeah, that's so much better. It's small, but it does the trick. Okay. Oh. That's what she said. Oh. All right. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and bring the G all the way back. Because I know from experience, that's usually what is required. And again, everything's reversible. Intonation is a tedious thing to do. But it is also very important. I think the G's good. Alright, moving on to the B. Alright, yeah, we're a little bit sharp. I imagine all of them are going to be at least a bit sharp. Still a bit sharp. So that's pretty good. Yeah. Tedious indeed. Alright. And our E. I already know the E's going to be flat because the E's got like practically no tension on the saddle at all, so. And if you ever have to adjust your height, your saddle height, you're also going to have to re-intonate. Although slight height adjustments don't always need to be re-intonated, but you got to check it just to be sure. And if it does need re-intonated, then it's usually not a huge adjustment. I would say that's good. Let's get it tuned up again. Okay. I think I might tighten these back a little bit further. I didn't think that these were gonna need adjusted. The fact that All right. Just a little. Now everything's sharp. I know this is probably the most boring stream. I'm probably not even gonna watch this stream myself. Usually I review my streams. I just kind of wanted this to be a hangout sesh, you know? While I'm doing the most boring fucking thing ever. If I do any more like tech work live, maybe it'll be a little bit more entertaining. But yeah, bridge work is not the most fun because of how tedious it can be. Although it's not it's not the worst job. It's not the worst tech work that you can do on a guitar, in my opinion. I hate working with electronics. I absolutely hate it. All right, here's my chord that I test out intonation with. It's an A with an extended A note on the E and an open A string. Let's see if you can hear that. Hold on. So now it's nice and in tune. So we're intonated. We're good to go, baby. Bridge is pretty floaty. Hot dog. We might just be finished. We might just be finished with the main work. We're gonna give everything a final stretch here, just to really be sure that everything's working properly and staying in tune, which it probably won't, at least for a little bit. That's okay. That's kind of to be expected. You gotta really manage your expectations when you're doing jobs like this. I keep calling it a job, but it's my own guitar. Because any little adjustment that you make, it might be very minuscule, but at the same time, it is technically changing where the string is on the instrument, right? Even if it's almost, like such a small amount that you can't visually see it, or you can't really, like, even if it's a plank unit, it is technically still a difference with where the string is lying in relation to the guitar's, body. I should have dusted my headstock before I strung it up. Anyway, and it's gonna have to acclimate to that new spot, which is why it's so important for the vibrato to always come back to a 0 point. That is the ultimate goal. And when you have a guitar with a floating trem, one string goes out of tune, they all go out of tune, because the tension, the counter tension from the springs, starts pulling on those strings more, because it's pulling a different amount on the string that's out. So they all go out of tune. And that is a real pain. If you ever heard someone break a string and then their guitar is suddenly like painfully out of tune, there's a really funny bootleg out there somewhere where that happened to David Gilmour on the Division Bell tour. And he broke a string and he's trying to play the solo and he's totally out. All right. So we'll do a couple more things real quick. Before we wrap things up here. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this back plate back on. 'Cause like I said, I like to have a back plate on. Oh, here's what we can do. Remember when I mentioned this foam that came in the bridge box and how foam is invaluable? Here's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna measure it about yay much, and we're going to about the width of the back, here, right? That's what we're gonna cut out. Snip. See that? Well, that's probably a little bit too much, huh? So yeah, but we're just gonna snip out a little rectangle of foam. This is why foam is so valuable. And we're gonna put it under these springs. We're just gonna kind of shove it in. Just like my wedding night. And what that's going to do is it's going to make the springs, they don't rattle anymore. So if you bump them, you don't hear it through the pickups. Now, you don't want it to like change the position of the springs, because then you're gonna have tuning issues. Another thing that I didn't mention earlier, make sure when you install a bridge that you don't have it pushing or pulling on the pick guard. It can rub up against that and cause problems. But yeah, and that's a good way to keep your guitar a little bit quiet, spring wise. So yeah, always save your foam. Always save your foam. Here, let's put these grub screws back. I have no idea if anyone's watching right now. I know this is boring. I apologize. I mean, I've been live for 3.5 hours, and I know this is like I said, this is gonna be a long job. This is a very experimental stream from the floor here. We'll be back on Friday for sure. I'm pretty sure anyway, with an actual music stream. But if anyone's watched like any of this, I apologize profusely. Okay. All right, that little tin that I had early in the stream, where I have all my most valuable truss rod, Allen keys. We're just gonna stick that one in there, in case I need it in the future, which I very well may. All right, next thing we're gonna do is replace the back plate. Which is simple. And like I said, if you just follow the rules, you get the screw in the hole there, go counterclockwise until it falls into the hole, and then you turn it clockwise. And that just helps things to not get stripped out. And this is light ash, and it can definitely get stripped out. I would say that probably the most vulnerable wood to getting stripped out in my experience has got to be basswood. My Jazzmaster is basswood, and you know, Jazzmaster pickups are mounted directly to the body. And oh my god, do I hate it. You're not allowed to talk badly about a J-Mascis Jazzmaster, though. Oops. It's like illegal, right? Like, people just won't allow it. No, they're the greatest Jazzmasters ever made. I have very strong opinions on Jazzmasters. Very strong. And they're opinions that a lot of people don't want to hear. Very unpopular opinions. They're cool guitars. I like them. But they got their problems, man. They got their problems. And people want to act like they don't, but they do. Oh, you just don't know how to set one up. Look, you don't need to learn. You shouldn't have to disassemble a guitar and put it back together as part of a setup, as a part of a basic setup. Like, that's not what they were designed for. Like, it's just not as good a guitar as a Stratocaster is. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent. And I'm probably going on a tangent to absolutely nobody, but you know. If you've watched this entire stream in the future, let me know in the comments. I'm sure it's nobody. Nobody would watch this. I wouldn't watch this. Maybe I would. I don't have a life. Alright, we're gonna tune up once more. 90% of doing bridge work is just tuning. And I'm not even kidding about that. Literally every single step of the way, tune. And because the more you tune and the longer it is in tune, the better it will acclimate to being in tune, and your bridge will hold tune better sooner and better and for longer. Yeah, is anyone watching still? Let me know if you are. We're almost wrapped up here. We're almost done. Alright, one last thing that I'm gonna do is, well, one last thing that as far as bridge installation goes. We're gonna take this whammy bar and we're gonna bend the hell out of it. And I can't do that on camera because I gotta do it over there. But take note, I'll be right back. It's gonna be at a different angle. All right, it's a little bit further up now. We're gonna see if it's good enough. Maybe a hair more. Just a hair more. Yeah, I did it. Alright. Oh, I should do it. I think that'll do it. Yeah, that's pretty extreme. I kind of need it extreme, though, for how much I have my vibrato floating. There we go. Now we're talking. Nice. Nice and high, just like I like it. I got really big hands, so having it kind of high is good for me. I prefer it much higher. I mean, because, let's see if when the bridge is floating like this much, you know, it tilts this way, and the whammy bar needs to stick up more, so you can actually get a good grip with it. At least for me, like, that's how I like it. I'm saying I'm losing connection again, like I did earlier, very early in the stream. I guess that's fine. I mean, I'm pretty much done. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I got no idea what's been going on with the computer today. Who knows? What up, brother? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with OBS. It's been dropping out. I don't know if it's an OBS problem or if it's something else. I'm not really sure. But we're just about wrapped up here anyway. Should be about done. Clearly there's a Windows function that's ruining my life. So we're just gonna polish it up, put the Strat back on, and we're gonna call it a day. Let's see here. Here we go. Polish. So this is just some Dunlop polish here. It's being spotty. Yeah, I don't know. Earlier, it took me half an hour. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with it. I opened up Task Manager earlier. And, nothing that is listed is interfering with it. It's obviously some scheduled Windows bullshit. I don't know, man. Maybe a reboot of the computer itself will stop it, but it's funny. It'll say like, oh, I'm transmitting like, you know, 6,000 kilobytes per second, but it's in the red, and then it'll be like, oh, I'm transferring 48 kilobytes per second, and it'll be in the green. It doesn't make any sense. You probably don't know what I'm talking about unless you've used OBS, but so it's stupid. I don't know what's going on with it, but I hate it. And this stuff ain't gonna fly if I'm streaming music. Yeah, I don't know. But the stream's just about wrapped up. I guess it's fine. It'll end the same way it began, with problems. Alright. And we're gonna stick this back on this strap. This is a soldier. It's great. Love it. I need to get some new strap locks. You can see these. These are just rubber boys that go right on top of the strap. Right here. Hold it in place. Ugh, like that. And there we go. For the sake of... And we'll, yeah. We'll go ahead and tune it one last time. It's a little sharp. Which isn't surprising. A lot of the time, it will get a little sharp when it's acclimating. Is it still being spotty? I hate it, man. I hate it so much because there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I hate more, and there's nothing that puts me in a bad mood more than a stream that's going poorly. Let's see, I can probably play along to this song right now. It is my song after all. I should better be able to play along to it. So, right off the bat, I'm noticing that this guitar is a lot better feeling. It feels better to play notes on, and it feels more resonant than it did. And that is what makes a Strat feel good, in my opinion. Can you a good Strat, you should be able to feel as much as you hear it. Does that make sense? When you actually strum a chord on it, do you feel the guitar vibrating at that resonance, at that frequency that you strummed? In the neck, do you feel it in your left hand? Do you feel it against your body? That's what makes a good Strat. And this wasn't doing that with the old bridge. It wasn't doing it at all, and that was a big reason that I wanted to replace the bridge, as well as the reasons I talked about earlier. This is the one that we took off. This is the stock Fender one. I believe this is like one of their American vintage ones. It's a nice bridge. It is considered one of the better Fender bridges, but I really, really don't like wrapping things around and screwing it in. I've always hated that. There's too much slop. It's too messy. It feels bad, and it absolutely, it's just not as good. I really, really like these Wilkinsons. Again, this is the box. It's Wilkinson is, the name got licensed to Sung Il. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. But it's a Korean manufacturer. This says it was made in China, but I mean, if it's made in China, it's made in China. But I was pretty sure that these were made in actually made in Korea. But if they're not, they're not. I don't really care, because it's still a massive, massive upgrade as far as bridges go. I really like them. I don't see that many people who have, before I bought my first one, there was a lot of people I saw, you do your research before you buy something. A whole lot of people, that have used these bridges really, really like them. You'll get the odd person who says, oh, that's cheap Chinese crap or whatever, or cheap Korean crap or whatever. And, oh, it's not really a Wilkinson, it's just licensed by Wilkinson. Who gives a damn? If it's good, it's good. Oh, we're dropping out again randomly. I have no idea why it does this. I really don't. I have no idea. Well, we'll just call it right there. And then I'll be back on probably Friday, and I really, really hope that these issues I can get resolved, or they resolve themselves. Because Yeah, it drives me nuts. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if it's a problem with YouTube. I don't know if it's a problem with OBS. I suspect, however, it's a problem with Windows. Go figure. Windows is awful. And this is Windows 10. I'm still running Windows 10. I'm not getting Windows 11. Fuck Windows. Yeah. And it's not a Wi-Fi issue either. I can tell you that much. So I don't. It's nothing that I can fix myself. And I do have the extended Windows 10 support. So yeah, Windows. So Microsoft's probably still fucking with stuff. But yeah, this is a massive improvement. Yeah, this was a long stream. We're at about 4 hours. Long job. To recap everything, we cleaned it. We rounded the fretboard edges, or not the fretboard edges, the fret edges. The fretboard edges are not rounded, actually. I don't want to do that. I don't want to change my workflow. I don't want to. But good lord. I think I'm going to call it there while the stream manages to fuck itself again. I doubt anyone watched the whole thing, but hey, if anyone did, then that's awesome. And I hope it was at least entertaining. And I apologize a whole dang lot for all the issues and for how long it was and for the missteps in my own guitar tech work. I'm not a professional. I just... Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to call it... Good lord. Yeah, thanks for watching. Good lord. Yeah, thanks for watching. We're gonna get out of here. See you guys real soon. Talk to you guys real soon. Mwah, love you. Goodbye.